Okay, so today we are talking about the third eye chakra. As part of our chakra series, we've been working our way up. We started at the root, at the very base of the tailbone, and we've worked our way to the third eye. We've got one more to go. The seventh chakra is the crown chakra, and we'll talk about that next Sunday. So the third eye chakra is here, roughly, from the bridge of your nose up to the top of your forehead. Imagine a spinning wheel inside your head and also at the back of the head. It's sort of duo spinning wheels, spinning energy out both sides. And of course, that's not a physiological place. If we looked inside of ourselves, we wouldn't actually see a spinning wheel. However, the ancient yogis have taught about energy centers for a long time. And so that's the imagery that they use to describe those energy centers in the body. The third eye is our place of clear vision. So the ability to see clearly, to know clearly, to know something with wisdom, the ability to take things in beyond all of the senses and to make clear decisions with wisdom. And sometimes that wisdom is intuition, and sometimes that wisdom is related more to the spiritual realm or the divine. And we've talked about how the chakras, the lower chakras, are much more rooted in the earth. They're much more about your own personal safety, security, your own willpower. And then the heart chakra is that place that starts to transcend up into more of the spiritual realm. So both the third eye and the crown definitely start to use spiritual language. And so you'll have to, for your own self, you'll have to decide, what is that for you? And of course, open to whatever the word divine means for you. And it could be as simple as just your that quiet voice inside you. If spiritual concepts are something that you don't spend a lot of time thinking about, it also can be sort of wisdom from within. So we're going to do a couple of practices using the third eye today, ending in a lovely meditation from David Pond's book that really gets into the third eye. We're also going to stretch our legs. So let's get going. Find yourself your best place to be. Sitting on the floor or on a chair. I'm just going to knock my feet down so it's not too noisy. So take a moment. See if you can place your body very purposefully. How would you like to sit today? Do you have an awareness of your connection to the ground? So that root chakra, the base of your tailbone, grounding you to whatever surface you're sitting on. Your core, area of the low abdomen or sacral chakra. Your spine, helping to take you taller, shoulders low, neck easy. And let's take a couple of breaths here, and I'm going to talk you through a little bit of mindfulness and some starter ideas for the third eye. We'll begin by breathing. And as you breathe, imagine being a witness of yourself or an observer of what's going on for you. So you are breathing. Perhaps you're also having thoughts come to mind from time to time, or perhaps you're aware of a sensation in your body. And so being a witness or an observer, the difference is, instead of really pursuing that thought, so maybe you have a thought about how hungry you are and what you're going to have to eat after this class. So instead of pursuing that thought and really thinking about it and making some choices about it and starting to reflect on what you had yesterday as well, it's pulling yourself back from being immersed in that thought and rather just noticing as an observer that, I'm thinking, or I'm planning. I'm observing that my mind is busy with something. Or if it's a sensation, I'm observing that my body's feeling something. So instead of being right there like, oh, what's wrong with my knee? It's just pulling back to be that little bit higher level witness, observing what's happening for you. So let's be our observers of ourselves as we take a couple of breaths here. Any breathing will do. And if we're being mindful about those observations, you might just name them. So if you notice that you're thinking, you might just name that. I'm thinking, thinking, thinking. Or if you notice that you're hearing a sound, you might name that. Hearing, hearing, hearing. Excellent. I'll remind you of that practice as we go through class a few times today. In addition, we're going to go into our usual opening sequence, and we're going to bring our attention to the third eye. So imagine your internal movie screen or a band across your eyes and forehead, a wide, wide band across your eyes and forehead that allows a little bit of awareness in this area here. Let's take thumb into hand, and we'll use the 3-3-9 breath or a ratio breath today. So you're going to breathe in for 3 counts, hold for the same amount, 3 counts, and then breathe out for 3 times as long. So if you've done 3 in and 3 hold, you're breathing out for 9 with awareness at the third eye. Hands together, ratio breathing, 3-3-9 or whatever ratio works for you. Hands behind the neck or in front of the neck, your choice. Same breathing. Full extension, breathing in. Holding full. And breathing out slowly with the focus at the third eye. Ratio breath here at the heart. Lengthen the arms, Back of the wrists resting on the knees or hands flat beside you. Let's take an ear up towards the sky. Let the head just hang there. And use the ratio breath again, 339 or another ratio, with focus in the third eye. To the other side when you're ready. Both sides twice. Once that feels complete for you, we'll take the head side to side. Use the 339 ratio breath and focus at the third eye. To the other side as you are ready. And chin towards chest. 339, focus at the third eye. Walk the eyes across the floor, up the opposite wall, as far as your neck wants to take you. Open your mouth here so that the jaw releases for your 339 breath. Walk the eyes back until the chin is on your chest again. Another breath. When you're ready, let your head float forward. If you're sitting, you're going to rest one arm across your lap. If you're standing, you'll just let that arm dangle. Bring the other arm up to your ear. Inhale as we reach up first and then over. Get a little extension through the side body. And here we have an opportunity to really open through a few chakras, being aware of the solar plexus, the rib cage on both sides opening up, keeping the heart open by being aware of the shoulder placement. I'm not trying to get the shoulder hugged up near the ear. We want to keep a little space there as we breathe. Over to the other side. Inhale as you go up and then over. Keeping that openness through the heart, through the throat as you do your 3-3-9 breath. Beautiful. Take one arm to reach forward, but drop your shoulder way down. Let your other arm reach off to the side and drop that shoulder down. With both shoulders lowering, look past your side fingers and take a little twist towards the back, keeping the arms in a right angle. And 3-3-9 breath, and see if you can bring the attention back to the third eye now. And the other side. Dropping the shoulders on this other side. Looking past the fingers. Little twist. 3-3-9 at the third eye. And an eagle, either seated or standing, bringing an arm across the body, wrapping the other arm underneath, or just holding up the top arm using the bottom arm, giving it a pull across the body so that we're stretching the back of the shoulder area. So you can bring your elbows a little bit away from your chest. Now bring your attention to your third eye. Perhaps your fingers are helping direct your attention there. And 3-3-9 breath. Change sides when you're ready. Either variation. Pull those elbows a little away from chest. Find your third eye for your breath. Let that go and bring your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Pull your wrists apart from each other. Lift your arms up and away from the body. Leave lots of space between ears and shoulders. And again, let's close eyes. 3-3-9 breath with focus at the third eye. Release the hands and fingers. Give yourself a hug. And just easy breathing now, regular breathing as we start to move a little through the low back, if that's okay for you. Change the arms, other on top. Good. We're going to work with the legs today. If you've been sitting cross-legged, then I invite you just for a moment to check out which way your legs cross and see if you can cross the other way. So for me, I usually lay my left leg in front of my right. So I'm going to switch that out and lay my right leg in front of my left instead. If you're standing, don't worry so much. You can just practice rooting through your feet, finding the four corners of your feet, maybe shifting balance a little bit, foot to foot. We're just taking a moment to see how that changes the sensation here. And we'll come back to this towards the end of the class. So let's all transition to standing now. And we do want some grip, so you might want to take the socks off. Excellent. Let's all find the four corners of our feet, spreading the toes wide and feeling all 10 toes, grounding you. Seeing how it is to put a little bit more pressure on the outside of the feet instead of the inside. Sometimes just that tiny movement is enough to change the alignment in our spines. So see how that is today. Keep the knees bent. Get as tall as you can, standing here in mountain pose. Take a breath. Good, and just to warm up the legs a little bit, we're gonna take a small step forward, front knee bent, back leg mostly straight, and we're pressing that back heel into the floor. At the same time, we can open up our arms and shoulders. So the opposite arm as your forward knee is the one that's gonna bend. And I'm gonna take the free arm and press my elbow back to get a lot out of this one. Hold here, 3 breaths. Just regular breathing now. Breathing out fully each time. Let's open up those elbows. So leave the legs as they are, but the elbows are now wide. We're spreading the fingers. We're dropping the shoulders down. We're staying open through the heart and the throat, a slightly lifted sternum. Breathing here. Bring the arms in and let's change the legs. The other leg is now forward. We're pressing the back heel of the other foot into the floor. It's the opposite arm as the forward knee. It's the one that bends. Let's push on that elbow for 3 breaths. And notice what you feel. Where in the body does this create a sensation? Open up those elbows wide. Fingers spread, shoulders low, breathing. And again, where do you feel anything in the body? And can you be just a witness to that, a stepped back observer? So you're noticing the sensation, but you're not thinking about it, dwelling on it, digging into it at all. You're just aware. Aware as a witness or observer of what's happening in your body. Good, bring that on in. Excellent. We are going to cross one leg over the other leg. We're not doing the balance one of these just yet. We'll do that in a moment. We're going to do a forward release with our legs crossed. And the reason for that is it's a great way to get into the IT band in the legs. And so lots of us struggle with tight IT bands. And you'll know if that's you as we head down, you'll feel a little bit of tightness there. So first, we want to make sure that our feet are grounding us. If this challenges your balance, as soon as you cross one leg over, make sure you've got a piece of furniture or the wall close by so that you're not tumbling over. You've got something to grab onto if you need it. See if you can spread your toes and still ground 4 corners of each foot and all toes, even in this stepped over position. Then stand nice and tall. Lifted sternum, shoulders low. Big breath in. As you breathe out, nod your chin towards your chest. Breathe out fully. And now we're going to roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Breathe in here. With the knees just gently bent, we're starting to roll down. And you might feel this anywhere in the body. Perhaps for you, the neck is tight, and so it's more of a neck or an upper back stretch. Maybe it's elsewhere in the back. And perhaps as you roll down, you start to feel it a little bit in the legs. So just be an observer. What are you noticing in your body as you roll down 1 vertebra at a time? Doesn't matter how far you go. Maybe you'll get to the place where your fingers touch the ground, but you might not. Wherever you are, let's hang here for a couple of breaths. Now contract the core. Feel that Kegel, those low abdominals working to help you rise up. Still breathing. With the head as the last part of you to float forward. Excellent. Shake those legs out. Well done. Let's do the other side. Cross the other way. Same thing. Find the 4 corners of each foot. Spread your toes and feel your toes connecting you to ground. Stand tall and take a breath. As you breathe out, nod your chin towards your chest. And now take your time and be guided by you. You decide how much you'd like to round and roll down, if at all. Perhaps you're better just standing tall. Guide yourself as far as you'd like to go here. Lots of breathing and lots of observation. Where do you feel whatever you are feeling? Contract your core now. Keep the core strong to help you rise up. Slowly with control. Head is the last part to float forward. And shake out those legs and grab a sip of water. Excellent. We'll do a cross-legged balance. We've done this one before. So again, you're going to cross your legs over. I'm just going to turn around so that you get a sense of which way I'm going. So I've crossed my right leg over my left. That means my left knee is the one behind, but it doesn't matter. Do whatever one works for you. You're going to stand tall. If you've crossed your right leg over your left like I have, then it'll be your right hand that tucks into an imaginary back pocket on the left side. Now, I'm going to find an eye focus with my eyes straight ahead as I tip towards the left. And hold here for 5 breaths today. Come on back to center. Let that go and cross the other way. So I've now got my left leg crossed over my right. That leaves my right knee as the one that's behind. I've got my left hand tucking into my imaginary back pocket on the opposite side, finding an eye focus and tipping towards the right. Lots of breathing. Bring it back to center and shake out all of that. And then we're going to take a big giant step on your mat if you got it. Front knee bent, back leg mostly straight. I'm up on the ball of the foot and the toes in back. You see what works for you. And I'm dropping my hip flexor a little lower, my center of gravity a little lower. Reaching forward with arms, dropping shoulders down, taking 3 breaths. And again, being an observer. What do you notice here? And leave my legs as they are. Bring my arms up. Still keeping the shoulders low. So I've got lots of openness through my heart and my throat for 3 breaths. This third variation is optional. We're adding a little bit of balance challenge if you choose to. So if you like, you're going to interlace your fingers and point your fingers up towards the ceiling, keeping your legs as they are. We're going to let the eyes and head look at a spot on the ceiling past your pointing fingers for 3 breaths. Bring your head back to center. Bring your hands to heart. And now hands down beside the front foot. So we're keeping all knees off the ground. Hands beside that front foot. Either full hands or on fists if the wrists are giving you some trouble. Breathing here. Staying broad across the back of the shoulder blades. Keeping the head in line with the spine. We're going to bring the back knee down. If you'd like a little cushion under it, then grab your socks. Roll your mat up, anything you need to do for your knee. And then we're making those subtle adjustments, moving the front toes forward, pointing the back toes, finding what feels like a really good stretch for your inner thighs, your groin area. Find the right amount of angle there for you, and let's breathe. Excellent. We're going to do a movement pose between two poses. So from here, we're going to take one arm onto the other side of the foot. So we've got a hand on either side of your front foot. Walk the fingers and hands back, straightening out the front leg. And then walk the hands forward again, re-bending the knee. And that's the move. We're walking back, straightening that front leg, walking forward to rebend it. And see if you can synchronize your breathing to this any way that works for you. And now be an observer. What do you notice as you do this pose? One more time walking forward. One more time walking back, and let's hold for one extra breath here with the long leg in front. We'll transition to standing to do the other side. One way to do that is to come to hands and knees, to curl your toes, and then to sit back onto your heels, bring weight onto the toes, and stand from this squatting position. Remember which leg you started with so that you can take a big step with the other leg this time. Front knee bent, back leg mostly straight, adding the fingers reaching, shoulders low, and 3 big breaths. Lifting those arms up, shoulders still low, keeping open through your heart and into your throat for 3 breaths. Breathing out fully each time. We've got that optional balance challenge, pointing your fingers towards the sky, and then changing the eyes so that they are looking past your pointed fingers at a spot on the ceiling, and breathing. Bring the eyes back, bring the hands to heart, and bring the hands down beside the front foot. Make any adjustments here in the distance between your 2 feet. Keep all knees off the ground for 3 big breaths. What are you feeling and where are you feeling it? Bring the back knee down, so do anything you need to do to cushion. Point the back toes. Move the front toes forward if needed, and find your best spot. What's the right angle for your legs here? And let's breathe and see if we can settle right into it. Is there a way to make this an enjoyable, releasing type of pose? Let's bring a hand over onto the other side of the front foot. So you've got a hand on each side, allowing you to walk your fingers back, straightening out that front leg. And then walk your fingers forward, rebending the knee. And let's just keep at it. Moving through the two poses and synchronizing your breath any way that works for you. Let's walk to the front one more time. And walk those fingers back one last time. And hold here for an extra breath. Good. We're now going to grab onto the strap. And I mentioned it in the email, but I forgot to say it at the beginning of class. So if you've got a tie or a strap, a mat bag, anything close by that can offer you a little extra leg stretching ability, then grab that now. And if not, you can just do it with your hands. It's totally fine. And let's lay on our backs. We don't need the strap just yet because we're going to start with a pose where one leg is extended. So spines are long, one leg extended. The other knee comes in towards your chest. Grab onto the outside of that knee with the opposite hand and pull that knee across the body. Just as far as it wants to go. Hopefully both your shoulder blades can still aim forward. We're trying to keep the shoulder blades low if we can. And take 3 big breaths here. Again, observing. What do you notice? Bring that leg back to center. Lay it down on the ground and bring the other leg up. Grab onto the outside of the knee with the opposite hand and pull it across the body, keeping both arms and shoulders down, shoulder blades on the floor if you can. And 3 big breaths. Come on back to center. Excellent. Just one core pose here. While we've got our legs in this position, it's a very simple move to just lift your long leg off the ground about 1 inch. And let's breathe in and out here. If this really challenges you, then you have the option of holding your interlaced fingers around your hamstring to pull the knee towards you. That might help a little bit. After a full breath, I'm going to change sides without touching down. So the other leg lengthens, other knee comes in. You have the option of interlacing fingers under the hamstring to pull it towards you. Let's go back and forth another couple of times without touching your legs to the floor if possible. So start to notice whether the Kegel has engaged, if the low abdominals have engaged. Other side. Excellent. Now, if you've got your strap close by, I'm going to place the strap onto the bottom of the foot and start to stretch that leg skyward. If you don't have a strap, you're just going to use your interlaced fingers around the hamstring to pull that leg towards you. Either one will work. We're pressing our heels either towards the opposite wall, so it might be more of a press towards the opposite wall, or towards the ceiling. It just depends on your leg. So wherever your leg can be straight, and preferably straight without shaking, gives you the right spot for you. If the leg starts to shake, it means that you're working maybe a little beyond where you need to just yet. And let's breathe here. What do you notice? If you like, you can try a little pointing of the toes and then flexing. Notice how that changes the sensation for you. Take the same leg in the same strap and open it up to the side. Excellent. And let's hold here 5 big breaths. Shoulder blades on the ground if possible. I know that's sometimes tricky depending on how you're holding your strap. And now you're noticing, witnessing what's happening for you here. Now, keep the same leg in the same strap, but bring it across to the other side of the body. Now, to do that, you might have to let go of the leg that I had my knee up, so just straightened out that leg so it's out of the way. I've changed hands with the strap, so my other hand grabbed it, pulling the leg across the body, trying to get both my shoulder blades on the ground and breathing. Good, let's change legs now. So the other foot into the strap, or here you've got the fingers interlacing around the hamstring. If you don't have a strap or tie, press your heel either towards the opposite wall or up towards the sky and breathe. What do you notice on this side? If it feels like what you want to do, you can try pointing and flexing. Let's take this leg in this strap out, opening to the side, and 5 big breaths. And you're trying to find that right spot for you. So usually aiming for a straight leg, unless the leg is just so tight that a bent knee is better. Sometimes you can use the wall or a piece of furniture and you can rest the foot against it. And that allows you to sort of settle in to that pose a little bit more. Let's take that leg across to the other side now. So I've got the leg that's stretching for me is my left, and I've got the strap in my right hand when I go across here so that I can lay both my shoulder blades back down and breathe. What do you notice? What do you observe, either in your body, in your mind, or in your environment. Excellent. Bring that leg free of strap now. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Just rock side to side. Excellent. We're going to do one more core strengthener before we do our meditation today. If it works for you, we're going to try a little rock and roll. So starting to rock along your spine from your tailbone to your shoulders. If it doesn't work for you, then just transition yourself up to sitting, because our core pose is boat. So come to sitting. And we're going to try balancing ourselves down on our root chakra, on our tailbone. And then we're going to work with the core and the legs to do fancy things. So see how it is to balance on your tailbone. If that's tricky for you, maybe you keep one foot down on the floor, but you lift the other one off. If that's feeling like, yeah, okay, I've got some balance here, then maybe you start to straighten one leg out. Maybe you can let go with the arm. And then just play with it. See how it is to straighten the other leg out. We've done so much to open the legs today that it's possible that this one will be a little easier than the last time we did it, which was many weeks ago. The other way to give this a go is to be resting down on your forearms. So you've got the support of the elbows and forearms behind you, allowing you then to just lift the legs with the hover as an option, calves parallel to the ground, or straightening one leg from there, straightening both legs from there. You're welcome to take breaks as well. Keep breathing. If you've chosen a straight leg version of this here, then I invite you as a challenge option to very slowly, with good strong Kegel and core support, lower those legs towards the ground. Excellent. And we'll go into our meditation here, which you can do lying or sitting. So you choose what works better for you today. We're going to be still for several minutes. So if you need to add any socks or sweaters, now is the time. So this meditation does work with the concept of the divine. So as mentioned in the beginning of class, you need to just decide what that is for you. For some, that might be a concept that you've known your whole life and is really accessible to you. For others, that might be something you haven't thought about for a while and it maybe feels a little less clear. So just take a moment to ask yourself a question of what does the divine mean to me today? And it could simply be that still small voice inside you. The deep, deep, all-knowing, wise, still small voice. So get comfortable with your spine extended and long, whether you're lying down or sitting. Start to breathe and notice your breathing. Does the breath feel fast or slow, shallow or deep. Observe yourself breathing. Notice the subtle rising and falling of your energy on each breath. Perhaps it matches the rising and falling of your diaphragm or your lungs. The subtle movements that the body uses to help us breathe. I invite you now to imagine the ocean in all its vastness. Imagine that you are part of this great vastness. You're not in it and separate from it. It's not you in the ocean. Instead, you are it. You are the ocean. Imagine an individual wave rising up out of the ocean, out of you. I invite you to see this as your individual life, separate and distinct, yet part of it all, part of the big ocean. See the rising and falling of the waves. Rising up out of the ocean, your individual life is born, only to fall back into the oneness. And yet another wave rises, another of your incarnations emerges to express itself, and falls again to merge with the all. As you feel the cresting and falling of each wave, feel the embrace of the ocean as it welcomes you back home. I invite you to picture this as merging with the divine. Feel how compassionate the divine is, always welcoming you back into itself. Noting that nothing is truly separate in the ocean. The wave is still part of the ocean, and the ocean is within the wave. Any feelings of separateness are an illusion. Feel your connection to the eternal vastness. Now bring your attention to the area of the third eye, that wide band across your eyes and forehead, sometimes thought of as your internal movie screen. I invite you to hold your attention there for one more minute of quiet and just be an observer. Witness whatever is there to observe. And now take 3 deeper breaths. Begin to move a little bit. If you're lying down, slowly transition to sitting. If you're sitting either on a chair or on the floor, just stretch your legs out. Try a little heel press, a little pointing of the toe, and then a flexing of the foot where you pull your heel right up off the ground. You can try each leg individually. Try both at the same time. And just rock those legs out a little bit, feet moving side to side. And choose the way that you would normally sit as we go into a closing. If you would normally sit cross-legged, I invite you to cross the opposite way. So whatever leg you usually cross for cross-legged, switch it. It's going to feel a little awkward at first, a little unusual, but it's a great exercise to both open up the legs in a new way and open our legs up equally, and to have our bodies be open. So find your best way to sit. Lengthen your spine. Feel the openness we've created both in the heart and the mind. And let's take thumb into hand and inhale and raise. Low shoulders, simple breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Hands together. 2 breaths. Hands behind the neck or in front. Full extension, breathing in. Slow hands to heart, breathing out. the breath at the heart. And today I invite you to keep your hands together and bow your head a little bit towards your hands. Maybe your fingers even connect with the area of the third eye, area of the forehead. So there's a little connection between the thumbs anchoring you towards your heart, the fingers anchoring you towards your third eye. And take a little bow to yourself. And gratitude for making your yoga practice a part of your day today. Namaste. Thank you.